Hello, everyone. I am Krandall Brantley for Buckeyes Daily. We have updates for OSU football, women's basketball, and a Buckeye legend's younger brother is the number one recruit in the country. One of the biggest names for 2028, Jet Harrison, the younger brother of Marvin Harrison Jr., is one of OSU's top targets for 2028, the number one overall player in the Rivals 300, and the five-star wide receiver from Philly, attends St. Joseph's Prep and stands at 6'1", 175. His father is a Hall of Famer, Marvin Harrison, played for the Colts, won Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, and his older brother, Marvin Harrison Jr., was the best player in the country in 2023 for the Buckeyes. Now, Jet holds offers from Oregon, Ohio State, Nebraska, and Tennessee. It was named 2024 Max Preps Freshman All-American. According to 247 Sports, the scatter report, budding wide receiver that can put the field and get in the end zone. Elite pedigree, shows up constantly with his football IQ, likely to get bigger, but already plays large with his frame and positioning. Now, he's going to get offers like every major program in the country at some point this season with this ranking. And so I feel like this is a must-get recruit for Cortez Hankton. Cortez Hankton carries his first year and the already established connection that the Harrison family has with Ohio State. And so, look, this could be the potential wide receiver room in 2028. Third year junior, Chris Henry Jr., then five-star Jameer Brown's the sophomore, and then freshman Jet Harrison. That would be just loaded wide receiver room, just like they already have now. And with guys like JSN getting the highest paid contract for wide receiver in NFL history, that doesn't hurt Ohio State's chances at getting another five-star wide receiver. And so we'll be watching Jet Harrison's recruitment throughout the offseason. So next recruit, got 2028 Mississippi defensive lineman Andre Maddox got an offer from Ohio State during his visit watching OSU spring practice. He goes to Oaks Groves High School in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he's 6'2", 265, unranked prospect right now, but his offers from Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. And Max told reporters that the opportunity is huge for me after getting the offer from Ohio State. Let's see if Larry Johnson get this defensive lineman out of Mississippi. So then you have OSU offered linebacker Shamar Evans at Louisiana for 2028. Evans goes to Ruston High School in Ruston, Louisiana. He's 6'2", 205, currently unranked, but also holds offers from Alabama, LSU, Florida State, and Auburn. So then you have, the top 20 countdown from Bucknuts. According to 247 Sports, top 20 countdown ends with number one. Jeremiah Smith, no surprise, he's number one on this list. Now, Smith finished 2025 season with 87 receptions, 87 for over 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns. He had more receptions this season than his freshman year, but he had slightly fewer yards and touchdowns. Keep in mind that he missed the majority of November with a quad injury, came back late in November for the game, so he missed those games, I believe 3. And then they also only played one playoff game compared to 4 playoff games his freshman season. So numbers a little bit misleading. So 2026, this is going to be last year at Ohio State. So I think Smith will surpass 1,500 yards, over 1,500 yards for the season, and over 15 touchdowns, surpassing his freshman totals. And then he should have won the Goff Award twice so far. As a freshman, and especially as a sophomore. but he didn't. But as a junior, he will get that award. They will give him those honors, and then you have a real shot at OSU getting 2 Heisman finalists to get invited to New York. It's like 2019, Justin Fields and Chase Young for that season, but this time it's going to be Julian Sand and Jeremiah Smith. That could be legit there. Julian Sand already got invited last year, so likely that he could have the same thing this coming season. And so that duo could leave Ohio State with a championship, and Jeremiah Smith could come out with 2 titles and go out as a best receiver in program history if these things happen. So here's the rest of the top 3 they had for Buck Nuts. Number 4, I mentioned last week, was Bo Jackson. Number 3, Austin Sarabeld, the old lineman, according to Buck Nuts, he had over 810 snaps, did not allow a single sack, and gave up just 15 pressures all season. But he did struggle against Indiana and Miami for those last 2 games. Number 2, Julian Sand, according to Buck Nuts, is a redshirt freshman for last season. Sand threw for 3,000, over 3,600 yards, 3,610 yards for the season, and had a completion rate of 77%. And then along with 32 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. So I'll repeat that. Over 3,600 yards throwing, 77% completion rate, 77%, and then 32 touchdowns, 32, then 8 interceptions. That was it. That earned him both National Freshman of the Year and Big Ten Freshman of the Year honors, along with being a Heisman finalist. That's your top 20 countdown. Finishing with Jeremiah Smith at number 1 for their countdown. So we get to wide receiver room. Okay. According to Buckeye Huddle, for the first time in program history, Ohio State is leaning on transfer wide receivers, and head coach Ryan Day, he couldn't be happier with what he's seeing. With Brian Hartline gone to South Florida and 5 receivers entering the portal, Day turned to former LSU receivers coach Cortez Hankton. The transfer market, the Buckeyes landed UT San Antonio's Devin McEwen, who had nearly 1,700 yards last year. Nearly 1,700 yards, 1,700 yards in 3 seasons at UTSA. And then LSU's Kyle Parker hauled in 31 catches last year, and they joined All-Americans Jeremiah Smith and then senior captain Brandon Ennis. So Day said that he was very excited after day 1 of spring practice, saying at wideout, we're as deep as we've been in a while. Jeremiah leads the way, but Brandon's right there with him. And then you have Kyle and Devin. Just for day 1, seeing a couple of veteran guys go out there and make plays. They are pros already. And quarterback Julian Sand backed it up, calling McEwen and Parker seamless additions. Both have a lot of speed. And on Henry, so what Sand said this: he's been great so far as a freshman and making great plays. So, for next season, I think this receiver room is going to be better than last season, despite losing Cardinal Tate to the draft and then Mylan Graham and Quincy Porter to the portal, going to Notre Dame. So the portal additions of veteran Devin McEwen and Kyle Parker will be huge for Sand, especially early on in these road games at Texas, at Iowa, and at Indiana. That will give enough time for the freshmen to get acclimated to college football and be ready for November and beyond. I think Chris Henry Jr., I think he starts early, but it will have some growing pains. So I think these veteran transfers really help this unit throughout the season, but especially early on in the season. So this potential of the whole top receiver room, I think, comes down to senior captain Brandon Ennis. Like if he makes a leap to being a clear day 2 NFL draft pick, I don't see another wide receiver room, cornerback room, secondary room that have enough elite corners to cover this team. So he makes that leap. It makes OSU that much better at receiver. He had over 300 yards last season. I expect him to get nearly 700 yards for this upcoming season and really solidify this receiver room. Okay, so for men's hoops, OSU returned to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2022. So that was a major accomplishment, but it was short-lived. They lost to TCU in the first round by 2 points, but definitely was a bounce-back season for head coach Jake Diebler and Ohio State. But they only won 17 games last season. This is his first full year as head coach. This year, 21 wins, and they make the tournament. And they also win a game in the Big Ten tournament against Iowa, a team that just beat number 1 seed Florida to advance to the Sweet 16. And so they definitely ended the season on a great run, but lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So looking ahead to next season, after taking a step forward, it now becomes, can OSU make that next leap as a program? And they bring in 2 in-state recruits, 5-star Anthony Thompson, and then 4-star Alex Smith. So making an NCAA tournament gives OSU real momentum, especially the transfer portal. Could this be the year they get some real elite talent out of the portal? And mix that with what they have as recruits. Alex Smith, a 4-star, 6'9" power forward, is an Ohio prospect. He transferred to Perfect Prep in Fort Lauderdale for his senior season. So it says Florida for his stats. Then there's Anthony Thompson, in-state recruit, All-American forward. He chose Ohio State over Texas, North Carolina, Michigan, and Indiana. He's 6'8", with a 7'3" wingspan, and type of talent that can help bring back OSU to a premier program that they were 12 years ago, 15 years ago with Thad Matta and those teams, and actually bring the crowds back to the arena as well. That's the type of recruit that will really help that. And so making a tournament, fans see that, and they have this All-American for the first time in 10 years. That's going to be very helpful. But to actually compete and win a Big Ten title and advance to second weekend of March Madness, and they'll need to get this out of the portal. 3 veterans that have starter capabilities. One at guard for backcourt, 1 small forward, and then a center. They can get that mixed in with these 2 great talents for freshmen that can really help them get those goals. And so we'll see what can happen throughout the offseason. Big steps forward for Ohio State's men's basketball. So I will end off with women's basketball. Number 3 seed OSU women's team lost to number 6 seed Notre Dame in the second round of the NCAA tournament, ending their season. Star sophomore guard Jelani Cambridge, he scored 41 points in the loss. Tough loss for the team, but Jelani Cambridge, with these stats, what she's done this year, she showed her talent last season as a freshman. She went and played at USC against Juju and put on a show as a freshman. And so for next year, she has a legit chance to really compete for Player of the Year for the country with Juju. That's how talented she is. So look out for OSU women's basketball next season. Great things to come for that team and the men's basketball team. But for football, the next spring practice is today. We'll have more updates on that tomorrow. All right, go Bucks.